200 points on the line for the driver that can tame a Homestead Miami Speedway after 133 laps. We are underway. Truck 200 is back.
And we are looking at 3 wide into 1 already.
The main way out wide. As Engrave, Crampton, Bency, your top 3. Crampton here on the inside.
Oh, Crampton was rolling it on the inside, but then got really loose there on the exit as he was sliding up the racetrack, looking to do it in the regular season as Hunter Engraves. He fights back on the outside.
Oh, we got a problem. 2 trucks around. Daniel Miglin, Garrett Rainey, Jeff Smith, Peter Donchek. And our first caution of the season out on lap number 3 here at Homestead.
And I think Miglin does just that. He's trying to pull it off the wall a bit and makes contact with the right rear of the 13 of Rainey. Rainey gets put into the wall, nose first. Still into the wall all the way down here to the entrance of 3, and then you are absolutely correct. Miglin comes down the track right into Smith. As you mentioned, just an innocent bystander trying to get through that incident as cleanly as possible, all the way down on the apron, but still gets tagged. Yeah, well, he's been running this bottom line the entire race pretty much, so these two can kind of run their own lines. And
Of it. Here we go for the lead. I'm not sure if he got into the wall or just had to roll out of the throttle to keep it out of the wall, but Caleb Bency is clear. Is he going to slide up? He is. New leader 29, but here comes the 57. 3 wide for the lead. Crampton going to hang here to the inside. Looking to take a slider right back to Bency. Maybe trying to keep it on the bottom. Bency will have a run here. Not sure if he'll be as daring. We've seen him make some bold moves before. Nope, he's going to stay in line. Crampton going to go back to the bottom. Bency may have another crack at it here from the top side. Where did that come from?
And this is on an exit. Nothing ever happens good here when you're 3 wide on an exit of a turn. Oh, and I think Dye either thinks that he's clear or thinks the 67 is going to come up the track. He makes contact with JJ and gets pushed all the way down the backstretch here. He is broadside in the middle, like quite literally in the middle of the entry to turn 3. Crampton running more of the middle there through turns 3 and 4. Haven't seen that much tonight, but it works.
3 to go.
Reynolds and Holt still battling there for 4th. Crampton has put a little bit of time on Bency here.
Engrave throwing a block on Reynolds. Reynolds bump drafted him into 3.
And here
Reynolds
goes Holt on the bottom.
Holt trying to squeeze Engrave. Reynolds on the top side rolls out of it. Engrave with a slide up in front of the 51. Reynolds going to shoot the middle. That gap is closing. 3 wide for 3rd.
Oh, contact!
A remarkable job to keep that truck pointed straight. Holt, Engrave, Reynolds going to battle it out for 3rd, but the white flag is out up front. Bency to the top.
The
3 wide for 6th.
He's looking to make a big run here down the backstretch.
Oh, they're wrecking down the back straightaway. Zittel and Oaks. Out of turn 4, checkers are out. TJ Crampton is going to win the opener in Season 2 for Truck 200.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Now I've been here now. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. We saw great racing and intense battling for 200 miles last week, and that is exactly what we are in for tonight. 200 miles at the not Superspeedway in not Nashville, Tennessee. It's the Lebanon 200 here in Nashville Superspeedway for round number 2 of the second season of Truck 200. And the Booth Boys are at it again. We've had some joint home races last season, but this tonight is Matt Williamson's home race. A Nashville metropolitan resident. This is a race at the Greater Nashville Metro. Welcome home, Matt Williamson. Got to be looking forward to tonight just a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the fact that I've seen races here live and they've brought it back to the real-life series here just within the last few years. Very exciting. Now, I do have to say that down here in the Mid-South, it's not Lebanon, Tennessee. It's Lebanon, Tennessee. So we're going to have to get that one right here tonight. It's the Lebanon 200 here for Truck 200. But very much looking forward to this. I've obviously ran this track in the sim quite a bit as it is a home track for me. So I am quite excited to see our drivers get after it here tonight.
As we're watching drivers take to the track here, we got a few notable drivers on track, including Dakota DeMay. What are some of the challenges that Dakota is facing right now on cold tires on a quali lap?
Well, it's the biggest concrete track that NASCAR goes to, so it's pretty slick, I will say that. Especially, I'm not sure what our temperature right now on the track is, but on cold tires, this concrete is very, very slick, so they're going to have to be conscious of that. And shifting is likely going to come into play. It kind of depends on how the setup is, but I'm guessing that we're going to have some shifting here, at least in turns 3 and 4 probably.
Now, we are on race number 2 of the second season. It's hard to believe, but we are fully underway now. With that in mind, points looking almost exactly how they finished at Homestead last week, but lots of bonus points at play. And some weird numbers to look at as well. So always good to keep in mind how the points are looking from week in to week out.
Yeah, well, after our first round of 12, TJ Crampton, who was your winner, he does sit in first place here. Caleb Bensey in second. Roland Holt, Nathan Reynolds, Hunter Engrave rounding out your top 5 here. And then as we look through, we do have a tie for 8th because of some bonus points. So Mike Berry, Kyle Zittle tied for 8th. Michael Fish, he went through the field last week to finish in the top 10 in points here. So what a great drive for him last week. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be here with us tonight. And Brantley Gainey and Dakota DeMay there in 6th and 7th as well.
Yes, Michael Fish has claimed a provisional for tonight. Understand Roland Holt is going to claim a provisional as well. Some family matters to attend to. So wishing all the best to Roland Holt and his family here tonight. Wishing he was here. Hope to see him back again soon. After he got up there and mixed it up all race long last week, came away with the podium, sits in the third in the points heading into tonight. Nathan Reynolds, have yet to see him take to the track. He was, in fact, the hard charger last week by not setting a qualifying time. Will we see him take to the track here at any point? We'll have to see. Right now, Tyler Pluff and Josh Kreider are on the track posting quality times.
Yeah, we're watching Kreider right now. He does make better on his second lap here, up to 16 for right now. Tyler Pluff on track, working on this second lap out of 4. Across the apron, and jumps big time up into the top 10 for his qualifying effort. That's what Tyler Pluff wanted to see. If I remember correctly, did not have a great qualifying effort last week, so definitely a much better start for him here tonight.
His second lap put him from 18th up to 6th, so you're right. A great qualifying run there for Tyler Pluff. Of drivers who are making their first start here tonight, we have 2 members of Rubbered Up Racing, a team that ran with us at the Chicago Lane recruitment race. First time we've seen them back since then. Noah Blackwell in truck number 69, and Josh Kreider, who is running truck number 5. His actual truck number is 48. Somebody, I'm not going to name any names, but somebody goofed and didn't put a truck number for it. So we'll just say the issue's been resolved. But they are making their debuts here tonight. I believe Zachary Flaum is in the field. He is making his debut here tonight as well. His qualifying run is done and dusted as Hunter Engrave is out on track. And he scored the pole last week, I do believe.
Oh, and you can see him slipping and sliding up the racetrack there out of 2. He was really working the wheel, trying to get it under control. A lot of drivers will choose to just go low the entire time there through 3 and 4. He elects to enter more high, try to carry a little bit more momentum out of that turn.
443 for Hunter Engrave is going to move him, I believe, to 14th.
Second lap here through turns 1 and 2 looked cleaner than they did that first lap.
So Engrave, a top 5 finish last week after scoring the pole, leading a couple of laps. Looking to start up front again, and he will take the pole. How about it?
Wow.
Incredible stuff. Hoping to fare better from P1. Should he come away with it? We do have Nathan Reynolds, who was pretty fast in practice, I think in the top 5. I think the biggest surprise for me here in qualifying is Brantley Gainey. He was up in the top 5 for most of practice tonight, and he has the slowest qualifying time. He must have had some serious problems on his quali lap because he was a second slower than the driver in front of him. So Gainey with some work to do, but he will have 200 miles to do it. That is 150 laps. 29 drivers looking to take to the track. We have 30 that have registered. Matt Schlosser said he was just coming in to log some laps and then had to head out. So hope to see the 400 truck make his debut next week. But in the meantime, it's been a great opening stretch here for Hunter Engrave. 2 poles in a row in actual competition. He will lead the field to green for the second week in a row. Now TJ Crampton will start to his outside on the front row. He is your winner, of course, and the current points leader coming out of Homestead. Caleb Bensey finished runner-up at Homestead, will start P3 after limited practice tonight. Mike Berry clocked the fastest lap last week, finished in the top 5, starts in 4th here tonight. 2 back-to-back good qualifying runs for Dakota DeMay. The Demigod will round out your top 5 starters here tonight. How about Paul Ellison rolling off from P6 on the outside of row number 3? On row number 4 on the inside, it is Tyler Pluff. And Jeremy McKinnon back in the field here tonight. He was second quickest in practice, starts in 8th. J.J. Wang, another top 10 start for driver number 61. He rolls off from 9th. Garrett Rainey up in the top 10, rounds out your top 10. Row number 6 then is Kyle Zittel and Ryan Dye, the Alabama gang teammates on row number 6. Jay Salmon in the 13th starting position with Jeff Smith to his outside on row 7. Dan Miglin and Noah Blackwell on row number 8. Then Pascal Samard, Josh Kreider on row number 9. And Luke Peterson, Zachary Flaum round out your top 20. Steve Roman and Brantley Gainey then the last two drivers to posted time on row number 11. Starting in the 23rd position, Nathan Reynolds. To his outside will be Jeff Oakes. And the wrong number this week, and again, that is my fault. Troy Thomas and Peter Donchek then on row number 13. Alan Phillips, Darrell Klotz on row 14. And Cody Claiborne should round out the field here tonight in the 29th starting position. Matt Williamson. I almost called this Matt Williamson's Music City challenge here tonight, but you have the race named after you next week, so we can't do 2 weeks in a row, and that's just too much. But I will let you tell us what our track conditions and strategy is looking like here tonight.
Absolutely. Track conditions, not super hot, 96 degrees on that track temperature. That's always something to look at, especially here on a concrete track as big as this one. Also, we already mentioned the cold tires at the start of this thing and on restarts or after they come out of the pits. It's going to be crucial to let those things at least warm up a little bit. We are at 100% fuel capacity, 0 fast repairs, and 3 extra tire sets. Our fuel window is about 55 to 65 laps. We'll talk about shifting and tire saving as this thing goes on. 150 laps tonight around Nashville Superspeedway, so we're looking at a 2-stopper, 100%.
A 2-stopper in the race. One of these drivers is looking to make a 3rd stop when it's all said and done in Victory Lane just outside of Music City. Hunter Engrave and TJ Cranton were up front all of last week at Homestead, and they bring this one to the green up front again. Inside line did not get a great start throughout the field, but it got a good start up front as Hunter Engrave leads the way.
Tyler Pluff in the 39 dives down to the bottom of 3 and 4 early. Oh, there's contact!
That is big problems here.
Oh, a lot of trucks.
They are still piling in. Holy cow. Ay. JJ Wang, Kyle Zittel, Noah Blackwell, Dan Miglin, Garrett Rainey, Jeremy McKinnon, Josh Kreider, Brantley Gainey, Steve Roman, Darrell Klotz, Cody Claiborne, Alan Phillips, Peter Donchak all take 4Xs, some others with some other contact and having to make evasive maneuvers through the grass. It was going to be tricky here on the first couple of laps, and unfortunately we have started off with a bang.
Yeah, that one, that was a big one, that's for sure. Not going to be detrimental damage for everybody, but definitely some big damage for many of the drivers here. So we're going to go ahead and try to take a little bit of a more of an overhead look here. We mentioned it, Pluff was on the inside, and you're going to see this pretty much all night. It's just really difficult on cold tires here on the first lap, but Tyler Pluff in the 39, he is going to send it here into turn 3, which you can do, and this is going to be a common theme here tonight for passing. And actually, it's Ellison that gets loose in that second lane, and Pluff was trying to come up the racetrack to take his line while Ellison got super loose there in front of McKinnon, and it is on from here. Everybody trying to get woed up behind them. See a bunch of drivers down there. McKinnon's involved. Blackwell was involved. I mean, you can name probably half the field here, and they have some sort of damage from this incident. There's Gainey, Vroman, Rainey as well. I mean, you could name anybody, and they were probably in it. Wow.
Wow, indeed. That hopefully we got it out of our system. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. It is very touch and go in the opening laps here, of course. This is, I think, the third shortest track that the league has been to. So I know a couple of these drivers are newer to truck racing, so maybe they haven't driven on a shorter track. This is a sort of a hybrid between a mile and a half and Dover. So, and not saying this derogatorily, but I think the worst aspects of both, in my opinion. But it makes for an interesting challenge, though.
Oh, I mean, we were always going to be talking about the track a lot here tonight, I think. It's just a very unique situation with this track. It's just really not something that you see too often. The biggest concrete track there is. The corners are just kind of awkward. I mean, you can pass pretty good. Depends on the vehicle, obviously, I think. But here in the trucks, there's a lot of passing to be made, and I feel like everybody knew that here going into that this first lap. They were trying to get their positions where they could, but you just got to be careful on these cold tires here.
So Engrave and Crampton were side by side when the first caution came out last week. This time it is Engrave in front of Crampton. Hunter will take the inside and bring the field back to green. Single file most of the way through the field. Engrave and Crampton. Crampton that time of the purple lap of the race. Of course, that's the first time the entire field has gotten to cross. And actually, Jeremy McKinnon at the tail end of the field just posted the purple lap. I think Luke Peterson just had to make a total save out of turn number 2. While the rest of the field is sorting itself out, up front, Crampton pounding Engrave again. Where have we seen this before?
We're going to see it all season here, I think. Here goes Crampton to the bottom.
Making Hunter work the top here.
And you can carry a ton of momentum on the top side here, especially early on in this run. It is not easy to pass on fresh tires here, as long as you have them kind of warmed up. I think it's as the run goes on, we're really going to see who has separated themselves in the tire saving category. That is a big, big part of the strategy here at Nashville Superspeedway. And
Crampton. Oh. I think it's Crampton at the line, but the battle's not over.
No, not even close. You're going to see Engrave sends it in pretty good for being on the outside here. It is difficult to do. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum from it, but still here on the outside. And honestly, if you're Caleb Bency behind him, you love to see this because they are not taking care of their tires at all right now, and it is going to benefit Bency greatly in the long run here before we get to pit stops later on.
So we are one Roland Holt short of this being a rerun up front. Crampton now in the lead outright. Engrave in second. Bency and Barry, your top 4. And Nathan Reynolds charging through the field. Right now has worked his way up to 13th. Pete's plus 10 already. First challenge for position right now, I believe, is J.J. Wang and Dakota DeMay. This time in Fender cars. This is for a spot in the top 5, though.
Yep, and DeMaid's running the outside here. JJ and DeMaid giving each other a lot more room. You saw Engrave was way closer to that bottom line than DeMaid was, but DeMaid able to run the top, carry the momentum, and clear JJ by a wide margin there out of 2.
Behind
now
them.
the battle.
Yep,
And-
Garrett Rainey
yeah.
opens the door. Zittel underneath. Remember, these two are teammates in this league. Tomorrow night they won't be, but tonight they are. And Kyle Zittel gets his great-looking truck up into P7, or excuse me, P8 now.
Drew White's in the chat cheering on the old boys at TWR.
And TWR second in the team standings right now, behind White Knuckle Racing, who had a fantastic week last week. TWR right now are, they're 1-6, first and sixth. White Knuckle is 4th and 12th. So things looking up for TWR right now. Got a pass for what could be
Miglin
the
really sent
11th
it.
position.
Miglin
Yes,
sent it
whoa!
way too far there into turn one. I don't think he actually got into the wall, but it was very, very close. Reynolds has gained 2 more spots since we talked about him last time, now up to 11th. And Jeff Smith is going to clear Miglin as well, but barely. And Samard is right on the tail of the number 8 as well.
I'm sure Jeff was just happy to make it through that accident to start the race after the misfortunes that befell him early last week. I think the caution came out on lap 3 last week, so not completely dissimilar to what happened, but this time he skates through and is just outside of the top 10 here on lap number 16.
Reynolds still on the move, nearly had the room to get past Josh Kreider, at least put it underneath the number 5, but the number 5 covered it off into turn 3. Up in front of this battle, Rainey Zittel and Ryan Dye are all very close, along with J.J. Wang. But here goes Reynolds.
Kreider right now trying to carry the banner for Rubbered Up Racing in their debut here tonight on Truck 200 after the 69 of his teammate Noah Blackwell got caught up in that accident and actually was one of 2 drivers to pick up a meatball flag.
Oh, contact!
And,
Reynolds
boy!
gets turned!
There's the caution. Yikes.
Oh, and Reynolds trying to get turned around here. I think Tyler Pluff nearly got into him there on the top side.
It's going to be awfully close, but I'm not sure those two touched. Initially, anyway. There was definitely contact after the 51 was sideways.
Well, let's watch it. They are battling pretty fiercely here. Reynolds went down to the apron on the front stretch. Go ahead and go to this chase cam here. Reynolds on the bottom, Kreider on the top. Yeah, you're right. Definitely netcode initiated. And I actually think also Kreider probably was expecting Reynolds to dive down to the bottom maybe a little bit sooner, because usually that's what we see down here.
Yes, I think you're right about that. Reynolds sort of holds it in straight longer than I think most were expecting.
Yeah.
But still, netcode initiated and hard racing as well. That sucks. That just sucks. There's no way around it.
Yeah, I mean, Reynolds had climbed so many positions here, and he's not going to bear the fruits of his labor, and in fact, he's going to get quite a bit of damage as a result. Pit stops are underway here.
2 drivers from the top 10 came down that time, Mike Berry and Garrett Rainey. Zachary Flaum, Cody Claiborne, Luke Peterson, Daryl Klotz, Paul Ellison, and Tyler Pluff also in the pits that time. Sounds like Nathan Reynolds' report from inside the cars. Steering wheel dead left. R.I.P. I'm so sorry. Oh, but it was another patented Nathan Reynolds run, and Nathan on the mend a little bit tonight as well. So it was hopefully that didn't screw anything up any worse.
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on how well you can get the truck fixed from optional damage. But, I mean, it happened early. Still plenty of racing left here for him to try to fight his way up back into the top 10.
I think it's a meatball flag, unfortunately. So I think it's probably toast. I do want to point out as well, Dakota DeMade, I think if they actually had a commitment cone in iRacing, that Dakota would have violated it. He was almost in the grass trying to pull off of pit road on pit road entry. So it was a close call, but he's still up in fourth. How about JJ Wang? JJ got a piece of that accident to open things up. Clipped Paul Ellison on his way by, but doesn't seem to be affecting the truck too much here. He's up in the top 5.
No, and there were a bunch of drivers that were sort of somewhat involved, but it seemed like they didn't really think there was too much damage to the trucks. We haven't really talked about it much here in Truck 200, but a new damage model for these trucks since the last season of Truck 200. So they react a little bit differently to those sorts of incidents. So everybody feels like they're pretty much good to go here that was involved in that one, except for a few. Now, we had quite a few come down pit road, and that's going to start the strategy here for tires. And that you're going to see a lot of drivers feel like they're Superman compared to the front of the field right now, because 20 laps on a set of tires here, there's quite a bit more fall off than you might expect.
Certainly a lot of fall off. As TJ Crampton out front will be in control of the field. Hunter Engrave still in second. We'll pull to his outside. Caleb Bensey and Dakota DeMade on the second row. JJ Wang, Ryan Dye in row 3. Kyle Zittel and Jeff Smith now in the top 10. On row 4, Josh Kreider and Pascal Samard. Right now, round out your top 10.
Yeah, Pascal had some good speed there, right there in the middle of that little short run that we just had. Now, to get back to those that came into pit, we have to go back to 14th with Steve Roman. Brantley Gainey also took tires. Luke Peterson, Peter Donchak, Zach Flaum. Pretty much everybody outside the top 20 has probably taken tires at this point as well.
Pace truck hangs to left. TJ Crampton in control of the field, coming to a restart on lap 22. Already matched the caution total here. Whoa, and some contact. A couple of drivers getting hung up on one another, I think just outside of the top 10.
Oh, yeah, we are stacked up big time there. Outside, just inside of the top 20, I believe. First battle on track, Jeff Smith, JJ Wang. JJ able to clear the 96 for now. Now Kyle Zittle's going to get in the mix here with the 96 of Jeff Smith. He's underneath here into 1. Oh, and Smith's
clear.
struggling. It is very, very easy if you get up just even a third of a lane too high on exit of 2. It wants to send you straight into that outside wall. I mean, you'll have fits with that all night here. If that's your preferred lane. That's why we see a lot of people run the bottom.
I think Paul Ellison has just blinked out, unfortunately. Think of the drivers that took tires. Steve Roman was ahead, but Brantley Gainey has passed him and not made up any more time. So he sits in the 14th position. Actually, now Steve Roman has gotten past Gainey. Gainey's fallen back a couple of positions.
Yeah, big time moves being made in front of them as well. Oh, Samard, Jeff Oakes, and Kreider all here together. They're stacked up big time. Meanwhile, Zittel is up here battling hard as well with J.J. Wang, and Jeff Smith is still right there. Looked like Wang nearly got into the wall. Now Vroman is starting to move forward up to 12th. But battling 2x2 in front of him. So really not a whole lot of places to go for right now.
It's Samard and Oaks side by side, racing hard. As TJ Crampton continues to lead, it's Hunter Engrave in second, Bensey in third, DeMade in fourth, and Ryan Dye in fifth.
Oaks is going to clear the 76 here out of 4.
Oh! They're three wide behind him. Man. I'm not too sure that Alan Phillips did not get up into the wall. It was awfully close.
Now
Yes.
Vroman underneath the Samard. Oaks is underneath Kreider in front of them as well. Vroman's able to clear. Oaks with the advantage here down into turn 1. That will sort itself out. Troy Thomas starting to go backwards now. He is the one of the first trucks that didn't take tires that's going to start falling through the field here.
Top 5 have separated themselves and are almost nose to tail. Engrave trying to close back up to Crampton, but everybody else is pretty equidistant with each other here on lap number 30. Jeff Smith, good work, gets around J.J. Wang to move up to 7th. Here goes Vroman underneath of Kreider to try and move into the top 10.
Vroman making good on those new tires for right now. Found his way into the top 10 after coming into pit. And you mentioned it, these top 5 are all still right here together. We'll go kickpot cam here with Ryan Dye. He's working behind the 82 of DeMade. And this is why I wanted to go kickpot cam. I wanted to hear if they were shifting. Dye is trying it through turns 1 and 2. Personally, for me, I think usually the first place I go to do it is actually through 3 and 4, so likely does there as well, and he does.
The big pro of that, obviously, is you're going to gain more speed, but would you agree with me that the two big drawbacks of that are rear tire conservation and fuel conservation?
Certainly
or lack
is.
thereof.
Man, you see Dye pushed it a little bit harder than I think he wanted to there into turn 1, but yes, you are right. I think the big one there, I don't think they're as concerned about fuel because it was going to be a 2-stop race no matter what. I don't think they're really going to change their fortune by shifting or not shifting there. As Dye is able to get around DeMade here, he moves himself up into the 4th spot. But yes, for tires, you are going to spin the tires a lot more shifting than you would if you didn't. So that is going to become a factor here, but I think the benefits, or at least in my experience, the benefits of shifting have outweighed the benefits of not shifting.
Josh Kreider and the 41 of Darrell Klotz a couple of laps ago the 14 of Darrell Klotz a couple of laps ago came together, but only lost a couple of positions.
Jeff
Man,
Oaks,
Kreider's
Steve Roman.
Kreider's on a slide for life here. I think he has used up the life in these tires.
And Oaks has been working his way forward even though he is on an older set of tires. Of course, those in front of him are still on the old tires, but Steve Roman, who's now behind him, is not.
Oaks, of course, was inside of the top 10 on the back straightaway on the final lap when he and Kyle Zittel had net code contact. Zittel came away with the top 10. Oaks did not. So unfinished business for Jeffrey Oaks tonight and doing all the things he needs to here.
Pretty close battle here. The 96 has been all over the 53. '53 got past the 96, and Jeff Smith in the 96 has just been kind of, I think, trying to match the 53 for right now. JJ Wang is on a big slide here as well. He was just inside the top 10, now all the way back to 13th. Those old tires are really starting to affect some of our drivers here.
When do you panic? Because you can't come in too early, otherwise you're going to throw a wrench in your whole race. But you could cheat a couple of laps here, right?
Oh, there's some
hang on to it.
contact.
Barry hangs on to it.
Wow, that was Barry trying to get around the 14 of Darrell Klotz, and they just barely came together, and Barry got super loose off the contact, was able to save it, but has now been passed by Luke Peterson. And he has... I guess this is Garrett Rainey on his outside. Oh, Rainey trying to slot in here. There was barely any room. Oh, and actually, that's a lap truck. I take that back. That's Noah Blackwell. My apologies.
Yes, Blackwell back out on the track with fresher tires, some damage repaired. 16 laps down, though. But, of course, the speed to contend up here in the top 10. As Cranton, Bency, Ingrave, Dye, and DeMade, your top 5, they are well separated. Or actually, the top 4 are well separated here from the rest of the pack. DeMade has slipped back to Zittel and Smith, 6 and 7.
Roman got past Jeff Oaks there as well. We were watching that battle just a second ago. Klotz has now gotten by, or is actually, yeah, he's gotten by Oaks. So Oaks is on a bit of a slide now.
Mopa Motorsports teammates. Everybody fighting for the bottom here. That's why we're seeing so much contact, so much crowding and pinching throughout the field. It's about every lap somebody slips up the track or slips down the track and door bangs another driver. But Mike Barry has to be a little bit frustrated because he was the first driver in the running order to hit pit road under caution. He has now been overtaken by Steve Roman. Was overtaken before the contact between him and Klotz. He will now move back past the 14. They had an exchange over the radio after the contact. It's all good. Klotz said he saw him down there and was trying to get a hold of it and couldn't quite do it in time.
Well, Tommy, I've done it. It's my first one of the season, and it came early.
Jinx
I missed the pass for the lead.
Uh-oh. I missed it too, partner. We'll have to go back and take a look at it.
Bensy has gotten around Crampton. The 4 of these drivers are still all together here.
And see, I had wondered if I had missed the pass for second as well, because Bensy was riding in third. Had gotten past Engrave and snuck that one in on me, but maybe I missed that, and now Bensy's up in the lead. Let's take a look at how it happened.
Bensy, he just got himself to the inside of Crampton. I think Crampton kind of actually lets him go. Engrave tried to sneak his way into the bottom. Wow, that was close. Crampton was able to fend it off, though.
I remember from Homestead, we didn't get to see how it played out, but Crampton had good short to medium run pace. But Bensy was the one to beat on the long haul, and we got robbed of Bensy tracking down Crampton at the end of the race with a late race caution. Bensy showing his hand early here. Not even to the first round of pit stops yet. Lap 46 is what the leaders are working. And Caleb Bensy, twice a runner-up in Truck 200 competition, showing the way here.
Yeah, we're still looking at the replay. I wanted to go back to see where it was initiated. Bensy got a big run off of turn 4 the lap before he made the pass, and then was able to get that inside positioning. Zittel is now on the outside of Dakota DeMade.
Shade has come over the track. This may be the time to try an outside move. And Zittel has a run. I think Dakota trying to shut the door. Now opens it back up. Behind them, Mike Berry coming with a head of steam. Gets past Jeff Smith.
Yeah, Berry opened the door for himself. Smith was kind of following Zittel. And Barry said, well, don't mind if I do. I'll take that inside position. Now, what could get interesting here is if Barry decides to take it 3 wide at some point. He has a lot of speed right now. And Barry's come into pit twice, so I think he's on fresh tires.
He certainly is on fresh tires. And he is certainly taking it 3 wide. Dakota will roll into the top side. Barry rolls out of it. Jeff Smith back to the outside. Smith now with a run, but nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, we're getting really bunched up here outside the top 5.
Wow. Luke Peterson just had a big wiggle there.
Oh! Ow, Smith checked up to get to the bottom line, and Peterson nearly ran him over.
Dan Miglin has just hit pit road here on lap number 50. We are roughly in the area where we think pit stops could start happening, but again, we've had 2 cautions already. So these drivers, most of them anyway, looking to maybe go a little bit long, or maybe they are just absolutely begging for tires at this point and are just going to stick to it.
Well, there's a lot of drivers that still have not come into pit yet. I think they're going to try to stretch it maybe as long as they can, or at least a few more laps here. Oh, Peterson still looking underneath the 96 of Jeff Smith. Now Mike Berry, boy, he is on the move. He's caught up to Kyle Zittel now. Here comes Josh Kreider. Kreider in the pits for his first stop of the night.
Kreider's had plenty of speed tonight, but man, he is going the wrong way in a hurry with some worn out tires. So this is a good move for him. I think Troy Thomas will be pitting from just inside the top 20.
Your top four are getting a little bit more separated than they were previously. Bensy, he has stretched his lead out to almost a second. DeMade, Smith, Peterson continue to battle as Zittel is trying to fend off Mike Berry. Here come more. Ryan Dye, Jeff Oakes, Alan Phillips, Brantley Gainey all to the pits.
This could be a huge play here for Ryan Dye.
Meanwhile, Berry has made the pass on Zittel. Zittel, of course, will have to come into pit much, much sooner than Berry.
Dakota DeMade pitting this time.
Now, what will be interesting in the strategy game here is if we will go green or if we will have another caution, because those drivers that came into pit right around lap 20, if we have a late caution, they probably won't have an extra set of tires. So that
Jeff
will be
Smith will
something
be pitting from the 6th position. Yes, you're right. Is it worth it to grab a set of tires that early? Well, I guess we won't know until the end of the race.
It's a gamble, but sometimes you have to gamble to win here.
Nash Vegas, is that what they call it?
Yeah, they call it Nash Vegas, but there's no gambling in Tennessee, so not sure how that works. Have to go up to the Kentucky border to hit the casino.
Kentucky. So still waiting on pit stops here from the top 6, I do believe. Bensy, Crampton, Engrave, Berry, Zittel, Peterson. Berry can go long.
JJ Wang back in 10th still hasn't come in either.
Wang on a bit of a slide with some worn out tires. Jeff Smith, Pascal Simard, both on and off pit road. Alan Phillips picked up a black flag for speeding, and he has come down to serve his penalty.
And looking at lap,
sorry, go ahead.
Looking at lap times here for our leaders, our top 4, it looks like the fall off from them is about 1.8 seconds or so just under 2 seconds for most of them.
Oh, Pascal Simard off down the back straightaway. Trying to pull his truck back up on the track without further incident. I think he will do that. Man, that was a scary situation, though. Not sure how he got down there, but a good job to hold on to it. I can wager a guess, though, he was on pit road about 2 laps ago. These tires, you want fresh tires, but then again, maybe you don't sometimes just because of how mean they can be.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to forget when you get into that run and you can really push the truck as hard as you want to, and then you have to start really backing off. Once you get tires, you just feel like you can go, and it's easy to forget just how slippery they are when you first put them on for the first couple laps.
That's what Steve Roman said happened to him last week. Remember, he sort of had a half spin on the final restart as JJ Wang is coming down pit road. Had a little half spin on the final restart, took him from the top 5 down to 12th. And said, I just set it off like I normally would in the middle of a run, but I wasn't in the middle of a run. I had fresh tires on.
Certainly easy to do. Mike Berry, he's still climbing here.
Here come the leaders. Bensy on pit road. I think Crampton may have faked him out, but Bensy is still going to beat the top 3 onto pit road by a lap. Crampton will be coming this time. You're right, Barry is hounding Hunter Engrave here. We'll have to see if Hunter is going to pit this time. Daryl Klotz will be pitting. So some of the final holdouts hitting pit road this time.
Engrave does not come down. Here comes Crampton. Kyle Zittel, Daryl Klotz to follow. Bensey just now getting out of the pits. So Engrave will lead a lap, but here comes Mike Berry to make the pass for the lead. And Engrave will stay out for another.
We've found our repertory players for this season, I do believe, up front. Hunter Engrave says he's pitting this time. So when you know who you're running against every week, you got to find ways to pick up bonus points on them. Bonus points will be on the line at the completion of lap 75 for the drivers inside the top 10. The big point shakeup could very well come next week at the Matt Williamson Birthday Bash at Daytona.
Yeah, first Superspeedway race of the season. One of 3 Superspeedway style races, even though Nashville would have you think otherwise.
Nope. Not even going to entertain that.
But yeah, next week has the potential to really screw things up for some of our drivers that we've seen at the top of the leaderboards here in the first 2 races.
Anything can happen. Everything did happen last time we were at Daytona.
Yes.
So Mike Berry still out on the track. Luke Peterson also still out on the track.
Boy, there is a big cluster of drivers all here together around the top 10. Bensey on fresh tires is trying to make his way through traffic, but he has a bunch of drivers in front of him.
Ooh. Man, oh
wow.
Man. Tight quarters.
Yeah. Bensey's getting held up a little bit here. Also getting held up a bit is TJ Crampton. He's been working through traffic here as well. Steve Roman, who came into pit on lap 20, he is in the pits.
So Barry going long on the Vroman strat here. Luke Peterson still out on track as well. Did Luke Peterson pit on lap 20? Not sure if he did.
Yes, he did. He came into pit on that, yes, on that same incident that Roman and Barry did. That is correct. As did Garrett Rainey and Jeremy McKinnon. So the top 5, so did Cody Claiborne. So the top 5 right now are all on the strategy that Steve Roman was on, who just came into pit. They came into pit on that second caution.
So in theory, these guys are looking at somewhere around 75 to 80 maybe?
Yeah, it's definitely possible to make it to 80. I think they could even stretch it to 85 if they really wanted to. I'm not sure on their strategy that's something that they want to do, especially since we just saw Steve Roman come in and it felt, obviously he felt like it didn't really work out in his favor. And Roman basically putting himself on the same strategy as the other drivers now, just with one less set of tires.
So whenever the top 5 come to pits, right now Ryan Dye would be the driver to cycle out to the lead. Mike Berry says he is pitting this time. Dye, Bensey, DeMade, your top 3. Crampton would be in 4th. It's a bit of a shakeup with some early pit stops. Oh, we got problems! Barry, Oaks, Crampton, Salmon, Gainey. Goodness gracious. Mike Berry was pitting. He called it over the radio.
You mentioned it, Barry said he was coming into pit He slows way down, still on that first bottom line of the racetrack. And he gets barreled into here. I believe that's Jeff Oakes. Crampton was right behind him, and I think Crampton got a little piece of Barry as well. And then as we're trying to get checked up, Gainey had an issue there. I think he got into somebody. I didn't quite see who that was.
It was Jay Salmon, if I'm not mistaken.
And you're indeed correct. It was Salmon, who, unfortunately, after the first incident, is a number of laps down. But wow, talk about strategy out the window. Goodness.
Yeah, that was untimely for a lot of people. I think it may be pretty timely for our last 3 holdouts here. That had yet to come to the pits, though.
Yeah, most certainly. And more than just that, actually, I think you're right. It'll be Peterson, Rainey, and McKinnon. That are going to benefit. Now, there's a couple that came into pit early on the same strategy. Dakota DeMade and Jeff Oakes. They came into pit a number of laps before your leaders at the time, and they've actually leapfrogged quite a few of them.
Now, Oakes, of course, will have some damage after that. DeMade, though, yes, should be looking pretty good here.
Part of that is just them staying out as well, because Ryan Dye came back down to pit. He came into pit right around the same lap that DeMay did, which was about lap 53, 54, I believe. And now Dye has come in to get his second set of tires on lap 71. So Dye with only one set of tires left now. Depending on how this shakes out, Hunter Engrave may be in a really great spot here. Engrave did not come down pit road a second time. Ryan Dye and also TJ Crampton, I forgot to mention, on the same strategy now as Ryan Dye. Hunter Engrave did not come down pit road this time, but he just came into pit for the first time just like 2 or 3 laps before that incident. So he is nearly on a fresh set of tires, but will still have an extra set more than everybody else, pretty much. It's getting
baller
interesting.
Strats.
It's getting crazy.
So here goes some wave around trucks. Jeff Smith, Zachary Flaum, J.J. Wang, Troy Thomas, Steve Roman, Pascal Simard, and I believe Dan Miglin as well. Peter Donchak, Daryl Klotz. So top 19 drivers should be on the lead lap.
And there are a lot of mixed strategies here. There are a lot of drivers that came into pit for their second time on tires that were only about 15 laps old, but there's also a lot of drivers that came into pit about 15 laps ago that have stayed out. So we are splitting strategies in big numbers here.
Starting order here is a little bit screwed up right now, so extended to yellow to make sure. All right. Field is all shook up here.
Yes, very much so.
Caleb Bensey, Dakota DeMade, Luke Peterson, Garrett Rainey, Jeremy McKinnon, TJ Crampton, your front three rows. Ryan Dye, Jeff Smith, Cody Claiborne, Zachary Flaum, your top 10. Here we go. Great start for Bensey.
Great start for Bensey around the top 5. We are fighting for position here. Rainey able to clear Peterson. Now Crampton is under. Oh, Peterson gets loose. He chases it up the racetrack. No incident, but he lost a lot of time. McKinnon behind him had to check up as well. McKinnon might lose a spot over it. Now here comes Garrett Rainey in the 13, trying to get the momentum here to pass Dakota DeMade in the 82. He dives it here into turn 3.
Haven't hardly said Rainey's name all day, and here he is now fighting for a position. Number 2, TJ Crampton. Damaged truck be damned. He is back up here fighting as well.
Rainey able to clear DeMade on the bottom, and here comes Crampton with a big run.
57 motoring.
Rainey and Crampton putting those fresh tires to good use right now.
Not sure what happened to Hunter Engrave, but he is back in the 16th position right now, as there goes McKinnon underneath of DeMade, and now Peterson looking underneath the 82 as well.
Yeah, DeMade, I think, is in trouble here for right now anyways. Now, he has saved an extra set of tires that these folks in front of him don't have, other than Caleb Bensey. So we'll see who's laughing at the end of this one, but right now, that cannot feel good for Dakota DeMade in the 82.
I tell you what, Garrett Rainey is starting to bring it to Caleb Bensey. He has closed the gap to about 2 truck lengths here.
Yeah, and Crampton has fallen behind Rainey a little bit here. I don't know if that's tire conservation mode or if Rainey did have great speed in practice. We just haven't really been able to see it come to fruition here in the race, but he is out here putting it to the 29 right now, or trying to at least. He's pulled up to the back bumper here out of 4.
Garrett Rainey. As Jeremy McKinnon and TJ Crampton getting ready to go at it for the final spot on the podium. McKinnon underneath the 57 and clear, just like that. Both of those drivers have been involved in accidents at different points of this race. They're both still fighting up here in the top 5.
Yeah, and these drivers back here fighting for the podium position for third. They are all very close here together. Peterson and Dye not far behind McKinnon and Crampton here as well.
Not sure what happened, but Josh Kreider just picked up a meatball flag. He's still rolling, though. Tyler Pluff now has one as well.
Oh, there was a huge incident here on the front stretch. They were 4 wide coming out of turn number 4. believe it's Klotz. Klotz, Kreider. Noah Blackwell, I think, was in that as well. And yeah, Kreider. He picks up big damage there. DeMade continuing to slide here. 0-0. Steve Roman. He is now underneath of the 82. JJ Wang next in line. Jeff Smith not far behind them. Then it's Zach Flaum, who we really haven't talked about here tonight. Of course, he is a force to be reckoned with in the Daredevil series. Did Flaum start last week in Homestead?
No.
So
nope, tonight is his debut.
Okay.
Garrett Rainey hounded Caleb Bency again. Is pulled right up to the tailgate.
Just hasn't quite been able to make his way past. McKinnon is now gapping Crampton by a bit. Crampton battling with Peterson and Dye. And Peterson is actually underneath Crampton now here through turns 3 and 4. But Crampton used the top side to carry the momentum. Now the 89 will dive it down here into turn 1.
Crampton going the wrong direction. As Peterson now will move up to 4th. Crampton trying to hang on to 5th. Ryan Dye is in 6th. And look at a challenge.
And Crampton's fighting back on the bottom, not going anywhere. Meanwhile, Rainey still right there on the back bumper of the 29. As Peterson and Crampton continue to battle here for the 4th position.
Paul Ellison is pitting, but he is multiple laps down, so shouldn't be a huge shakeup here.
Peterson's cleared the 57 for now. Now Ryan Dye is fighting on the outside of TJ Crampton. Caleb McLaughlin has hopped in the chat here. Thanks for showing up and watching a little bit of Truck 200 here from Nashville Superspeedway. Ryan Dye, just like Peterson the lap before, he carries momentum out of 4, but not quite able to clear. Now Crampton will slide in behind the number 4. But Ryan Dye moves up to the 5th position.
Good to see Dye in the top 5. That's all I'm going to say. Bency and Rainey up front. Still pretty much nose to tail here. Got a lap truck in the form of Paul Ellison. Then it'll be clear track for them for a while. If things continue the way they are. Lap number 94 when they come back to the line this time. 94 of 150. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight in the Lebanon 200 on turn 200. It's been an interesting one so far.
It certainly has. We've seen a lot of varying strategies, and then in one fell swoop, a caution kind of threw him out the window. DeMade still sliding here. The 96 of Jeff Smith has now gotten by him. So Smith now in the 8th position.
So DeMade will have his hands full momentarily with J.J. Wang. And I mentioned Hunter Engrave is back in the 17th position. He has now worked his way up to 12th. Actually, it was up to 11th. Mike Berry got back past him to regain that position.
And Engrave is one of those drivers that stayed out after his first green flag stop, just like Caleb Bensey. Except Engrave had to start a lot farther back in the field than Bensey got to. Oh, wow, Mike Berry looking to pass J.J. Wang. Got awfully close to that left rear quarter out of turn number 4. It's now side by side. We'll be able to clear Engrave in close pursuit here as well. Oh, wow. J.J. Wang with the crossover. Not much room between him and Hunter Engrave there.
No, certainly not a lot. Caleb Bensey starting to open up the gap. Rainey has slipped back to about 0.4 of a second. Jeremy McKinnon another half second behind Rainey. Luke Peterson, Ryan Dye, your top 5. TJ Crampton trying to hang on to them in 6th. And Steve Roman in the 7th position. Jeff Smith a distance behind him in 8th. Dakota DeMade, Mike Berry in close proximity 9th and 10th, with Hunter Engrave right behind them in P11. 19 trucks on the lead lap here. Closing in on lap 100 in just a couple of laps.
Here goes Berry now again, putting DeMade back to 10th. I have a feeling DeMade's going to lose a few more spots here before he comes into pit. He's just trying to hang on for probably a few more laps, and I feel like he's going to want to come in.
So where does that put him in relation to everybody else?
Well, so Dakota DeMade, when he came into pit, he came in early on the green flag pit stops. So he is on like 45 lap old tires now, where a lot of those drivers around him are, well, actually quite a few behind him now are pretty much on the same strategy. A bunch of them in front of him now came into pit around lap 71 or 72 when the third caution of the evening came out. But even among the folks that are on the original green flag stop set of tires, he is of the first of those that came to pit. So he is on an extremely old set right now compared to those around him. I'd say about lap 105 here, he's probably really going to want to come in. I can't imagine him going much past that. That would put 50 laps on that set, and I think that's about as far as he wants to go right now.
So Dan Miglin was the first lead lap driver to pit road last time. He has just entered pit road again here on lap 99. Or excuse me, on lap 100. Zachary Flaum will be pitting from 13th this time. So here comes some of the early pitters trickling into pit road.
Now, what DeMade may also be waiting for is waiting to see if anybody else that was on the alternate strategy try to wait until they come into pit, or at least pretty close, because if he gets on the same strategy as them, he has them, theoretically out-dueled should a caution come out with, 10, 20 laps to go.
Problems around on the front straightaway. I couldn't tell who that was. It was a quick 360, though. It might have been Paul Ellison. No, it wasn't Ellison. It was a red truck. I couldn't see who it was.
Well, I have no incident here.
It was Daniel Miglin, but it was a quick 360 sprint car style and kept on going, so we're going to stay green. and Miglin on fresh tires. Again, it's easy to do. Miglin, not to my knowledge a truck driver, but is out here running with us, an open wheel transplant, one of many in the field. Probably fresh tires here at Nashville Superspeedway is not a sensation that he's ever felt before this race, so understandable.
Pass for position in the top 5 here. Jeremy McKinnon has slipped down time-wise and now is about to slip down the leaderboard. Peterson gets underneath of him, and he has Ryan Dye and TJ Crampton very close behind him. Crampton is actually trying to make a positional move here on Dye as well.
Well, you talk about people who got dealt a crap hand. Luke Peterson was not one of them for once. Man, he was leading when that caution came out, and that was exactly what he wanted. Now he's up here on the podium.
Crampton's got around the 4 of Ryan Dye. Both of them will try to get around the 12 of McKinnon, though. Seems like McKinnon's lit up the tires on that 12 machine here in the first 30 laps of the run.
Crampton and McKinnon were battling earlier. Now the battle will resume on lap 106. Here goes the 57 to the inside. McKinnon not putting up much of a fight. Will slot back into line. Awaiting final pit stops. Dakota DeMade will be pitting this time.
Just a couple laps off.
Here he comes. Pascal Simard also has come in the last couple of laps.
Dye has now gotten around McKinnon as well. Not much jeopardy behind the 12, though. For position, Steve Vroman is almost 3 seconds behind him. However, Miglin in the 8 on fresh tires, a number of laps down, is right behind him and nearly got into him.
Tyler Pluff, Darrell Klotz, Peter Donchak all hitting pit road. Jay Salmon will be pitting this time as well. Little lockup for Peter Donchak, but doesn't hit anything. We'll keep it going.
I think you'll see a lot of the leaders start to come in here in the next 2 or 3 laps. Basically gives them a set of 40-lap stints on both these sets of tires, unless they think a caution will come out later and they want to just try to stretch it out and see if they can get a little bit fresher tire on a restart a little bit later on. But if you want to even out the run here in the next couple laps, 2 or 3 is when you're going to want to come in.
Garrett Rainey hanging right here with Caleb Bensey in the grand scheme of things. Still about 8.5 tenths of a second behind the race leader as Steve Vroman is coming to pit road.
Vroman, he's coming in from the 11th position, I believe.
Jeff Smith will be pitting from 8th this time. Pit road exit penalty, I believe, for Peter Donchak.
Here comes Garrett Rainey from 2nd. He's looking for the undercut.
Big play here by Garrett Rainey. Hitting the pits on lap 110.
A bunch of drivers in. Jeff Smith, J.J. Wang in as well.
Caleb Bensey over the radio, pitting this time. So he's not going to wait any longer.
Meanwhile, Peterson and Crampton are battling for position. Not sure if they will both be able to get into the pits. It doesn't look like either of them want to anyways.
Cody Claiborne pitting this time. TJ Crampton is going to pit this time. Just took over the race lead, is hitting pit road when they come back around. I would imagine Peterson, well, going long worked for Peterson last time. Why not try it again?
Yeah, this would be his final set of tires, so maybe he's thinking he wants to try to stretch it out a little bit longer. Just in case. Crampton coming in.
Peter Donchak back down to serve his penalty. Bensey off pit road. We'll have to see where he is going to cycle out in comparison to Garrett Rainey. Cody Claiborne, black flag on pit exit.
Wow. Had such a good run going.
Caleb Bensey is still, I mean, I think he actually gained time on Garrett Rainey. I think that's pretty surprising.
Wow, that is very surprising.
And TJ Crampton going to come out not too far behind this 13. Mike Berry hoping for better luck this time, calling out that he'll be pitting this time.
Looks like Barry safely into the pits this time around. Down a fight for 11th, DeMade and Steve Roman. Nice little battle here. Bensey now looking to get around Kyle Zittel. Zittel has not come into pit on this cycle yet. One of the last trucks to do so. Hunter Engrave now in. So that leaves Peterson, Ryan Dye, Jeremy McKinnon, Brantley Gainey, and Kyle Zittel out on the track.
Well, unfortunately for Gainey and Zittel, they have fallen a lap to the race leader, Luke Peterson. So if their long game were to work out for them, they'd still be trapped a lap down. We're getting into the thick of it here.
Yeah, of course Peterson does have to come in as well. Actually, Bensey is not too far behind here.
And I mentioned that Bensey had put some time on Rainey, but Rainey is closed right back up. So Rainey putting in good work here.
Yeah, and they had some lap traffic to work around. Oh, as JJ Wang is on fresher tires than those two. He nearly dove it in on Rainey.
And this is the leader they are going through right now. Nope, that's Ryan Dye in second. So still trapped a lap down here.
Peterson will be the next truck. Now, Bensey and Rainey get around Luke Peterson.
So they are back on the lead lap. They can feel a little bit better.
Peterson and Dye are probably going to come down this time. Then again, maybe not.
Maybe not. TJ Crampton is catching the top two in a hurry. Although he's having some trouble now getting around Luke Peterson. Oh, Peterson wide!
Oh!
Ah, he's in the wall. Managed to get off of it pretty quickly. But Ryan Dye closed it up. This is for the race lead. Hunter Engrave, purple lap of the session last time around.
right here behind Bensy.
He'd even just gotten a little bit loose this last time around, but didn't really lose that much time. But don't look too far behind JJ Wang, I guess, because TJ Crampton is closing in. And we've talked about over and over again, this 57 has had good short and medium run speed. Is this a medium run to the checkers, or would this be in long run territory, you think?
I mean, it's certainly right there on the border. I think an ideal medium run is probably more like 30 to 35, but, obviously 40 is not too long past that. These trucks can go about 60 laps, so, we're just over the halfway point there with a 40-lap run.
Jeremy McKinnon had to cut it through the grass to make down pit road speed, or to make down pit road entry, excuse me. We'll definitely lose a little bit of time, but he is the first of the top three to hit pit road. But after the scare there for Luke Peterson, he has regapped Ryan Dye, and now Ryan Dye coming down into the pits. So it's Peterson all alone out front. And now TJ Crampton is here on the scene. Going to challenge Garrett Rainey for what will be second, is currently third.
Gets the position underneath and will clear. Rainey will have a bit of a run, but probably not nearly enough. And, wow, Ryan Dye has fallen all the way to 13th on the board.
But we'll have very fresh tires. A lot fresher than most of the people in front of him here.
Yeah, only 25 laps to work with, though.
We'll see.
Now Crampton will look to track down the 29 of Bensy. The reverse of what was happening last week.
And what was happening earlier this race as well.
True. Peterson still out on the racetrack. Has not come into pit. He is our last holdout from that third caution of the evening pit cycle. Whoa, Bensy! He gets into the 8 of Miglin.
Trying to take him high, then tried to swing underneath. Miglin shut the door. Trying to work through lap traffic has made the battle for the lead all but possible here. Crampton rolls out of it that time. Bensy's weathered one storm. See if he can get a cleaner way through the 8 this time. And Miglin will leave the door open on the bottom this time.
Oh, wow. Near contact between Rainey and I think that's Oaks. And now the top two. Oh, Bensy tries to squeeze him.
Side by side. Peterson will be pitting for the lead this time around. This is just the battle for second, but it will be the battle for the win. 21 laps to go. Bensy on the inside, Crampton on the outside.
And I think Bensy's still trying to get his momentum going from the incident with the 8. Just hasn't been able to put the lap times together since making that contact.
Peterson tried to bring it down pit road from the lead, but missed. and is still out on track. He gave up 5 seconds doing that.
It is awfully hard to get slowed down when you have tires as old as what Peterson's are right now.
Peterson is on pit road, so now officially this is the battle for the lead. Bensey and Crampton absolutely giving each other the business here.
A clean business, though.
Yes, for now. I mean, a win is on the line, and Bensey's come up short twice. Really had second place locked up at Interlagos, but didn't have enough fuel in the truck at the end of the season last time around. So he's been very close a lot. Doesn't want to be close anymore. He just wants to be. Up the track, squeezes Crampton. Plenty of room through the tri-oval, though. More lap traffic ahead for the race leaders.
I'm not even sure that was on purpose.
Slides!
Huh.
Wow.
Not even sure it was on purpose there to turns 3 and 4. I think that's just not giving an inch and trying to take a little bit more and a little bit more every time you go through there.
I think you're right. Bensey clear for now.
A lap truck in front of him. This is Ellison. After Ellison, there's quite a bit of open space.
And Ellison, multiple laps down, not entitled to this space on the track, and he knows that. A veteran of Truck 200, he will let these guys go and battle it out. These two have left Garrett Rainey. He is about 2.7 seconds behind. I'm not going to make the joke. Steve Roman is 4 seconds behind Rainey. So right now, Garrett on track for, I believe, his first podium in actual sanctioned competition, as a win and an additional podium in practice race competition, as TJ Crampton just had a big blink there in turn 4. Oy. A couple of drivers in practice had some blinking problems, but nobody's had them in the race yet, so hopefully that is it. Hopefully Garrett Rainey just sent his one blink per race up to TJ, and we can call it good.
I don't think we mentioned it. John in the chat cheered on JJ Wang. JJ was having a really, really good race a little bit earlier, but he's fallen down to 16th now. He was in the top 5 for a good portion of the race, or at least fighting for a top 5 position.
14 laps to go, and Crampton is really working over this 29 here.
We cannot take our eyes off this fight for the lead. In fact, we're going to put our eyes inside the fight for the lead. It's kick pot cam time here with TJ Crampton.
Crampton loses a bit of time out of 4. We're talking inches here, but it's a game of inches.
And not a ton of laps on the tires here for these two. Crampton is not shifting. Now, they are on the verge of where you would see a lot of drivers start to, though. I think around lap 25 or 30 is typically where you start to see some go to the shifts, especially in turns 3 and 4. Maybe not as much in turns 1 and 2. Oh, Crampton with a big run here.
I mean, Bensey was a quarter of a lane higher than Crampton in 1 and 2, and that's all it took for TJ to go on the attack. 57 to the inside, looking for the race lead. Bensey will have the run off the top side. Will it be enough to clear TJ again? Yes. Now the snake in the tri-oval. You had mentioned Ryan Dye came out of the pits in 15th. He is now up to 5th. Or 13th, rather. So there's a note. Dye back in the top 5 as Crampton back on the attack for the lead.
Yeah, Dye has made a whale of a run through the field up to this point. He has a long ways to go to get to fourth, and Steve Vroman. I think Vroman's about 4 seconds in front of Dye. And actually, I take that back. Vroman, Dye is right on the back of Vroman. It's Rainey who's 4 seconds in front.
1 and 2 is seeming to be where Crampton thrives, although he clips the yellow line there, pushes it way wide. We'll lose about a truck length. So just as I was about to say, he's got 1 and 2 down. Not that time.
Ryan Dye has now gotten around Steve Vroman for that 4th spot we aforementioned. Now sets his sights on Garrett Rainey.
9 laps to go. 4 seconds up to Rainey. Not impossible, but certainly a large undertaking here.
Luckily for Dye, Rainey on about 15 lap older tires, so he has a bit of an advantage as far as that goes. Crampton looking for something of an advantage here towards the front. He's taken a lot of shots here at Caleb Bensey. Bensey has stayed them all off up to this point, but Crampton is looking to go back on the attack again.
Some lap traffic for the race leaders. Should be the last truck to clear, though, before the end of this race. They may catch Troy Thomas, but Thomas is a pro at directing traffic. Truck that's been slowly closing up on these two is Jeffrey Oakes.
Yeah, Oakes has been there for a long time. Not even really gaining ground. He's just been there.
But still to have the pace to hang with the leaders here at the end of the race. It's going to be another night where it just is not going to go Oakes' way after the contact to bring out, I believe, the 3rd caution of the night, maybe the 4th. As Crampton has a run, goes to the outside. Bensey shuts the door. He still has the momentum here into 3, though. As Crampton lying in wait, saving his tires for one more push here. Coming to 5 to go.
We'll try not to light him up too bad. Also trying to keep the momentum on the top side. Previously, we had seen him try to dive it down into turn 3. He actually was a half a lane higher than Bensey on entry into turn 3 the last time around.
Crampton backed up corner entry that time. Got to run down the backstretch again. Bensey doing all he can to play defense. Catfishing this yellow line all the way around Nashville Superspeedway. 4 to go.
In the last 5 laps, that fight for 3rd, Ryan Dye has gained over 2 seconds on Garrett Rainey, but running out of time.
It's going to be awfully close. I'm excited for either one of them to get on the podium here. And I'm excited to see the conclusion of this battle. About 4 miles left to go in this race. Crampton to the outside. Gonna force Bensey to work the bottom here. Bensey trying to get the run off and clear himself up. Crampton brushes the wall.
And Bensey did a great job of holding his line there while Crampton sends it into turn 3. Had to check up a bit, I believe.
Hopefully that's not the last gaps here for the 57. It's 2 laps to go. The Illinois green is waving. TJ Crampton, last week's winner. Caleb Bensey, last week's runner-up. Flip-flop positions here. Coming to the white flag. Crampton well within striking range. But Bensey has had a steady wheel up front this entire final run. 1.3 miles to go. Who is going to walk away with the checkers? Bensey in the lead. Crampton giving chase. Troy Thomas, lap truck, pulling out of the way. It's mano a mano in the final 2 turns. Crampton going to send it in deep. Bensey down low to defend. It's all Caleb Bensey after 2 runner-ups. It's finally 29 to P1 here at Nashville. And Garrett Rainey is going to hang on to the 3rd position and take the podium. Wow. Lebanon 200. Sorry, the Lebanon 200 did not disappoint.
Not in the slightest. I mean, that race had everything you could have ever asked for.
Previous best career finish for Garrett Rainey before tonight was a 6th place at round number 2 of last season at Atlanta. First career podium, first career top 5 in Truck 200 competition for Garrett Rainey. And after 2 runner-up finishes in his career, 3 podiums, Caleb Bensey is finally standing tall.
He's going to send it in through the grass here to, I guess, to his pit box. And that will do it here. And the Lebanon 200, Caleb Bensey doesn't quite burn the house down, but put in a good effort nonetheless.
We'll go ahead and take a look at your final finishing rundown here. Again, it is career number 1 for Caleb Bensey. TJ Crampton, 2 starts, 2 podiums. 2nd place for him here tonight by half a second at the end of it all. And Garrett Rainey, first career podium. Ryan Dye, first top 5 in a while. A hard-fought drive back through the field here tonight. He's going to be happy with a P4 at the end of it all. Didn't talk a lot about Ryan Dye tonight, but that's just because I didn't want to jinx him. He's had bad enough luck this season already. So great to see him in the top 5. Mike Berry, 2 top 5s in a row for him here to start off the season. Steve Roman, I believe will be your hard charger here tonight. 21st to 6 for the Double O. Another Tennessee driver as well. He will finish in P6. Hunter Engrave, another rally, will finish in 7th. Jeremy McKinnon, a solid run all night long, but will finish exactly where he started in 8th. Luke Peterson up 10 positions here tonight to go up to 9th. And Jeff Smith, 3rd career top 10, I do believe, for driver number 96. A solid night for him. Dakota DeMade will finish then just outside of the top 10 in 11th. Darrell Klotz in 12th. Zachary Flam in his debut will finish in 13th. Pascal Samard, last driver on the lead lap, in 14th. Troy Thomas then first truck 1 lap down, pulled over very graciously on the final lap to finish in 15th. JJ Wang in 16th. Kyle Zittel 17th. Dan Miglin in 18th. Brantley Gainey then in 19th. 3 laps down in 20th. Peter Donchak. Cody Claiborne 21st. Alan Phillips 22nd. Paul Ellison 5 laps down in 23rd. Jeffrey Oakes 9 laps down in 24th. Jay Salmon 18 laps down in 25th. And then DNFs for Tyler Pluff, Josh Kreider, Noah Blackwell, and Nathan Reynolds down in the 29th position. All right, it's podium interview time. And for the first time in actual points-paying... That is absolutely perfect. It's his first career podium. Garrett Rainey, welcome back to Booth 200, partner. Congrats on a podium. I'll be honest with you, I didn't have this track pegged as a Garrett Rainey kind of track. Are we wrong about that, or did you surprise yourself a little bit here tonight?
First of all, I forgot I had that set. I've got it to where when I join
When you
lobby,
join,
it automatically plays that. So I apologize for the viewers at home and you guys as well.
I mean, it's not wrong. It is you. It is Garrett.
That's true. That's true. And featuring Kyle Zittel saying that in a race that was from Daytona Venom Truck Series. Go check it out on Turn 200.
Hey, thank you.
Turn 200. There you will. No, you're absolutely right. This is not a track that I'm expecting to get a podium on ever. I felt like I had a top 10 truck for sure. Qualified 10. I mean, I feel like I could hold that position. Honestly, I just got on the right strategy. I think I pit there on that lap 17, I believe it was caution. Came back in on lap 20, topped off again. And that just set me up to be on the right strategy, I think. And I just had just enough to hold right off for third there. But no, I absolutely should not be on the podium here. I got lucky, and I'll say it.
I don't think that's fair. I mean, you're keeping up with the top two, and nobody else could really keep up with them all night long. So you certainly had it there at the end of the race. Matt, what do you got for Garrett?
Fuck, man, congrats on the P3. It's so good to get to talk to you here in a points-paying race of Truck 200. I feel like you had to be expecting it at some point. You've had some really good runs in recruitment races and practice races. Just didn't quite was able to put it together here in a points-paying race, but it's got to feel good to get the monkey off the back, and you got to feel good about next week at Daytona as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's no secret. Am a magnet for incidents. I mean, I had a 4X on the first caution tonight. So to drive back from that, finish third here, I'm absolutely thrilled. Like you said, the proverbial monkey off my back. Yeah, I'm a Superspeedway guy. I love them. I'm very excited for next week, Daytona. Fun fact, I spent last night in the hospital. I got too hot yesterday, passed out, was super dehydrated. Got 3.5 bags of fluid. I feel like absolute crap right now. So I'm glad this race is over. If it had been another 20 laps, I don't know if I'd have finished the race. So there's that.
Man, oh man, that's what a trooper here tonight. I appreciate the time. Appreciate you coming out. Anybody else you want to say hi or thank you tonight?
Absolutely, man. Thanks to all the guys in the chat. Most of us were Venom guys. Actually, all of us were Venom guys. My team, Alabama gang. This week we run a little bit different lineup, but all the same guys for the most part. I've got a special sponsor on this truck, Simplifying America's Fund. It's a nonprofit. They help veterans, disabled, help their families if they've been killed in action. Super great organization. I support them. I like to run their truck here. Also want to thank Golden Eagle Syrup, Alabama Sunshine Hot Sauce. Those are real life sponsors of mine. Friends and family that may watch, support me and you guys for putting this on, giving us the opportunity to get out here and have fun doing it. So that's about it. Appreciate it.
Good run for the Alabama gang here tonight. They finished 3-4. Congrats on the first podium. Go rest up, man. I hope to talk to you in better spirits next week.
Yeah, boys. Thank you.
Man,
Somebody
what a
get
trooper.
that man a liquid IV. Good Lord.
Holy cow. For sure. So as he heads off to the infield care center, we'll talk to TJ Crampton back on the podium for the second week in a row, this time a P2 finish. Welcome back up to the booth. Man, it was a wild race, I'm sure, out your windshield. After the incident there with the truck getting onto pit road, we thought maybe the truck was looking hurt, but then all of a sudden this thing just came to life.
Yeah, I thought so too. Maybe I net coded through him and got a 4X, but I went down pit road and it said I had no damage, but it felt like for the beginning of that next run, I was really off the pace, and I didn't know if that was just dirty air or if there's maybe something internally that got damaged or something. But then the second half was just a rocket ship, and I'm glad I got by all those guys. I thought I was gonna be stuck there in fifth for the rest of the race, but second was a great result. Caleb and I had a great battle and ready for next week at Daytona.
What do you think you needed to get up around him at the end of it?
A better right front tire. My front tires were absolutely destroyed by the end of the run. Trying to just stay with him and get any sort of run off the corner I possibly could.
Matt, what do you got?
Congrats on the P2, man. We have had a lot of fun watching you and Caleb battle here so far this season. Looking forward to more of it and more of you up front here as we go on. What was it like trying to keep up with all the strategy here tonight? Because there were some untimely cautions in the middle of runs, and it was kind of a crazy one as far as tire strategy goes.
Yeah, but I pitted, and then there was a caution only like 10 laps into the run. I went down pit road and my tires said 99% for the front and then 98 for the rear, but it definitely did not feel 99% wear. So It was just very, very weird, and just had to wait it out until the next pit cycle, and I was luckily able to get by everyone for the P2.
Well, you are certainly becoming a mainstay rather quickly at the front of the field here in Truck 200. Anybody you want to shout out or thank here tonight? I have a feeling we're going to be hearing their names called out a lot through the season.
Yeah, I want to thank James Watson at Team Watson Racing and Team Watson Racing Setups, Champs Speed Shops, Redline Oil, Extreme Mufflers, and everyone at the shop, and ready to go at it.
Alrighty. How are we feeling about Daytona?
You probably won't see me until 10 to go. I'm one of those guys at Superspeedways where I just hang like a second and a half back from the field, let them do their own thing, and then like just with 10 to go, show up and try to get the best finish I can.
That's my strategy too. I feel like it works out for you probably more than it does for me, but it's a familiar strat. So, congrats on P2 here tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you again after Daytona.
Thank you.
And now the man finally is going to have the fun night all to himself. Caleb Bensey on the top step finally. Welcome back to the booth, and congratulations on the win, man. This was a fun one tonight. Was it fun for you, I guess?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I'll be honest, I did not expect to be doing this race tonight at all. I'd been in Europe actually past week, just got back and
Oh wow.
had a couple minutes to do a couple laps, and like, why not? And yeah, so that first stint was kind of just feeling it out and trying to be extra cautious. And again, you never really know if it's gonna save tires well or not. And thankfully it did. So just kind of had a good baseline from there to try and create good long run speed, and it got closer at the end, probably closer than I would have liked, but yeah, it's very, very happy to finally get one.
Now, early in that race, the top 5 had broken away. You were riding, I think, back in the 3rd position. When do you decide to make the moves to get around Hunter and then eventually TJ for the lead?
Yeah, honestly, really, I don't know. I really wasn't looking to make those passes, I guess. Like I said, I was just really focused on myself and just trying to be really cautious on the tires. Like I feel like I was running a different line than them that I thought was better for the tires a bit. And eventually they just kind of came to me and was able to make the passes when they did. So really wasn't trying to, if being completely honest. It just kind of was the way those tires were degrading over that stint. And thankfully, I, at least in that first stint, did a little better job. But yeah, TJ definitely improved from that first stint to the last on that long run. But yeah, it was tough though.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner?
Man, congrats on the win. Finally got you up to the top spot here in the truck series. You talked about the tires, so there on that last stint, did you feel like you had to work through lap traffic a little bit more and kind of roasted them a little bit more than you wanted to, or was TJ just saving them a little bit better than you there at the end?
Traffic, I feel like definitely played a role. One in particular kind of screwed me over pretty hard, and I think I got a little damage trying to pass him. And like, cause I feel like up to that point, car felt really, really good. Like how it did the first stint, had good rotation, and immediately after that, it was very, very tight. So I think with that, how big of a drop off that was, I think that played a big role. So, because I saw him coming quite a bit, and I still was just dedicated to saving my stuff, and felt like that was going really, really well until that. So, definitely a lot closer than I was hoping, but yeah, it ultimately worked out in the end.
Yeah, we knew this was coming. It's only a matter of time before you got yourself a win. You got the spotlight all to yourself here. Who do you want to thank here tonight?
Yeah, obviously Race First, Amigo Sakira. Like I said last week, if you're in Stowe or Northeast Ohio area, definitely come check them out. Blossom Road Flowers, family and friends who are watching. No, my dad's not feeling good. He's probably downstairs watching right now. So, yeah, shout out to all you guys. Thanks as always, and yeah, very, very, very happy to finally get one. It's like you said, I feel like it's been a while coming, been close. So, yeah, pretty happy.
Well, go rest up, kick that jet lag, and hopefully we'll see you back at Daytona next week.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Alrighty, man. Everybody is, of course, it's hotter than hell in the Midwest right now, and parts of the Rust Belt and the Mid-South as well. So, of course, everybody is overheated and sick, and other people have injured themselves, and and vacations. I mean, everybody was fighting through something here tonight. It could have been as simple as, a banged up truck after the opening lap where we had, nothing short of 10 trucks piling up together. I mean, everybody had to fight through challenges here tonight. And this was always going to be a challenging race without extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, we knew coming into this one it was going to be a battle for the drivers, and we thought not with each other as much, but maybe more with the track, but they were quick to prove us wrong. It was a battle between the drivers as well, a battle between them and tire strategy with the way the cautions came out. I mean, it was a non-stop night for the drivers tonight. Probably seemed a lot shorter than the race actually went on just because of everything that was happening. But man, what a show they put on for us, as they do every week.
And we've talked about it all night. It's looming a little bit larger and larger day by day here. Round number 3 of the season next week, Daytona. Yeehaw! That is going to be really something. In a time where the top two have, in both of these races, have sort of just pulled out with the points lead all to themselves, Daytona is here to whip the rest of the field back into shape and give them a fighting chance down the stretch here. So Daytona next week, but between now and then, tomorrow night for the Venom Truck Series, football is back in the form of Venom Truck Series racing at Dover. Lots of football paint schemes tomorrow night around the high banks of Dover, so we keep the concrete streak alive. Wednesday night for the Daredevil Series, Atlanta 2022. Oh my gosh, that is going to be nutso for sure. Thursday night, this is just, I guess maybe not Nashville Superspeedway and Dover, but certainly the back half of this week is Bizarro week. Because Atlanta 22 for the Lotus 79s, and then the trucks on dirt at Knoxville for Maximum Velocity Racing League. Oh man, that is going to be so much fun on Thursday. I will hope you'll be here and a part of all the action. The best way to do that is to scroll down just a little bit, get out of full screen mode, scroll down a little bit, hit the subscribe button, hit the like on the stream while you're down there as well. Hit the bell to keep notified exactly when we go live. And we'll hope to see you between now and next Monday, where round number 3 of the second season of Truck 200 will be live around this time from the world's center of racing, Daytona International Speedway. But between now and then, until we meet again, for everybody here with Truck 200, for the GOAT, Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. We are saying so long from Lebanon Superspeedway, where Caleb Vinci has finally won a Truck 200 race and does it in spectacular fashion.